So, picture this. You're walking through a jungle 60 million years ago and you come across this. This is Titanoboa, a snake so massive that when scientists first found its bones, they thought they'd discovered a crocodile. But this was no ordinary reptile. This was something that defied every expectation we had about how large a snake could grow. 50 feet from head to tail, longer than a school bus, weighing 2,500 pounds, as much as a small car. To put this in perspective, imagine a snake so thick you could crawl through it like a tunnel. And here's what makes this truly incredible. It actually existed. These aren't movie monsters or ancient myths. Real scientists hold these bones in their hands, studying a creature that ruled the Earth millions of years ago. So settle in, because we're about to explore one of paleontology's most mind-bending discoveries. Now, before we go further, let's process this for a moment. You know how anacondas are already impressive predators? The biggest anaconda ever recorded was about 20 feet long, already a formidable serpent that commands respect in any river system. Titanoboa was more than twice that length. But length isn't the only incredible thing here. Titanoboa was more than twice that length. But length isn't the only incredible thing here. Imagine encountering a snake so thick you could literally walk through its coils like a tunnel. The circumference of this animal was unlike anything we see in nature today. We're talking about something that could wrap around a school bus and still have room left over. The weight? About 2,500 pounds, equivalent to 3 grand pianos worth of living muscle. The more you consider these numbers, the more extraordinary this creature becomes. The discovery story reads like scientific adventure. In 2009, a team from the University of Florida was working in Colombia's Cerrejón coal mine, one of the world's largest open-pit mining operations. They weren't looking for giant snakes. They were simply documenting whatever fossils the mining had exposed. Day after day, they found typical Paleocene fossils: turtle shells the size of car hoods, crocodile teeth, ancient fish remains. Standard prehistoric fare, but then something unusual started appearing in the rock layers. Vertebrae so large they defied classification. Bones that were clearly from some massive reptile, but unlike anything in their reference collections. For months, the logical assumption was crocodile. What else could be that big? But detailed analysis revealed the truth. These weren't crocodile bones at all. They belonged to the largest snake that ever lived. Can you imagine that moment of realization? Like expecting to find a goldfish and discovering a whale? What was life like in Titanoboa's world? Picture the most oppressively hot, humid place you've ever experienced. Maybe the Amazon during peak summer, or Southeast Asia in monsoon season. Now imagine it 20 degrees hotter, with humidity levels that would make breathing feel like swimming through warm soup. This was South America 60 million years ago, essentially one enormous greenhouse. The dinosaurs had just vanished from Earth, leaving ecological niches wide open. Nature was experimenting with new forms of life, and some of those experiments were gigantic. In this steamy world, Titanoboa reigned as the ultimate apex predator. But here's what's fascinating. It probably wasn't the aggressive monster you might imagine. Think of it more as a living embodiment of prehistoric majesty. Most of its time was likely spent doing exactly this, simply existing in the water, moving with the grace that only giant serpents possess. Not terrorizing everything in sight, just being magnificently, impossibly large in a world that could support such magnificent impossibilities. So how does a 50-foot snake actually survive? What does something this massive eat to maintain that incredible bulk? The answer surprised scientists. Titanoboa was essentially a giant fisherman, the ultimate angler in an ancient world filled with fish the size of modern dolphins. Watch how it moves. There's an elegance here that speaks to millions of years of perfect adaptation. In rivers filled with massive lungfish and primitive giants, Being a 50-foot aquatic serpent made perfect evolutionary sense. It could patrol vast stretches of river, taking whatever looked appropriately sized. Occasionally, smaller reptiles or early mammals might become meals of opportunity. But mostly, Titanoboa was probably content to live the life of a giant aquatic predator in paradise, cruising warm rivers, basking in tropical heat, and embodying nature's ability to create the seemingly impossible. Here's where Titanoboa becomes more than just an amazing animal. It becomes a key to understanding ancient climate. As a cold-blooded reptile, every aspect of Titanoboa's existence was tied to temperature. The warmer the environment, the more active it could be, and crucially, the larger it could grow. Scientists can actually use Titanoboa as an ancient thermometer. Its very existence proves that tropical regions 60 million years ago were significantly hotter than today. We're talking about temperatures that would make modern Bangkok feel refreshingly cool. It's remarkable how much we can learn about ancient Earth just from studying snake bones. These fossils connect us to deep time, revealing a world so different from ours that giant serpents could thrive in ways impossible today. To truly appreciate Titanoboa's scale, let's compare it to today's serpentine giants. The reticulated python, our longest living snake, can reach about 30 feet, already an impressive predator that commands respect wherever it's found. Impressive, certainly, but place it next to Titanoboa, and our modern giant looks almost modest. Titanoboa wasn't just longer, it existed in a completely different category of size. The green anaconda, our heaviest living snake at around 500 pounds, would need 4 friends just to match Titanoboa's weight. And here's something to ponder. If Earth's climate returned to Paleocene conditions, we might see snakes approaching these incredible sizes again. Perhaps we should appreciate the more moderate world we inhabit. The Titanoboa story has fascinating recent developments. Just recently, paleontologists in India discovered fossils of another massive snake, Vasuki indicus, that might have been even longer than Titanoboa. This discovery has reignited scientific debates about which ancient serpent truly deserves the title of largest ever. The Indian snake might have been longer, but Titanoboa remained the heavyweight champion. It's like comparing a marathon runner to a powerlifter. Different kinds of impressive, each perfectly adapted to their ancient world. And this raises an intriguing question. What other giants are still buried out there, waiting to be discovered? Every fossil site holds the potential to rewrite our understanding of life's incredible history on this planet. So there we have it, Titanoboa. Perhaps the most magnificently massive snake that ever lived. Not because it was a terrifying monster, but because it represents life's incredible ability to adapt and thrive. In a world vastly different from ours, this creature found perfect balance between size and environment. When I consider creatures like Titanoboa, I'm reminded that our planet has always been capable of supporting the seemingly impossible. These magnificent animals actually walked, or in this case, slithered through, the Earth. We can hold their bones, study their world, and marvel at life's endless creativity. If you enjoyed this journey into deep time, I'd love to hear what other ancient creatures capture your imagination. Subscribe for more prehistoric stories, share this tale with fellow nature enthusiasts, and thank you for spending this peaceful evening exploring the wonders of our planet's incredible past.